Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be talking about how to tell if someone is lying to you. When it comes to detecting lies, there are two major routes you can take. The first one is by picking up on their verbal behavior, things that they say. The second one is by picking up on their nonverbal behavior, things that they do. So we're gonna talk about both. Let's start with the verbal ones. First of all, let's talk about what to look for. One thing you can do is to listen for when they are avoiding answering your questions directly. So they tend to beat around the bush or even dance around your questions to avoid giving a clear answer. When people lie, sometimes they feel so guilty about what they're doing that they want to keep their answers vague. They don't want to give away too much information. A lot of times they might respond with, "I don't know," or "I forget," instead of providing an actual response to your question. Another thing you can do is to listen out for when they are providing too many details. See, most people believe that when someone is lying, they will try to keep their answers short and sweet. But actually, studies have shown that liars tend to provide more detail in their stories than truthful individuals do. This is because they are trying to fill in all the holes in their stories so that it seems more realistic. So if you notice someone is being overly detailed about something they probably shouldn't know, then they might be lying to you. Another big red flag is if they use qualifiers a lot. Qualifiers are words and phrases such as "I think," "possibly," "maybe," "perhaps." Basically, any type of word or phrase that expresses uncertainty. It may seem like these little words aren't a big deal, but actually they serve an important function. When someone uses a lot of qualifiers when responding to your questions, it shows that they aren't confident in their answers. On top of that, it shows that they feel the need to distance themselves from what they're saying just in case they get caught in a lie. Researchers found that qualifiers can be used as a sort of mental crutch. People use them to hedge their bets when they know they're in a precarious situation. They use them to protect themselves from the consequences of being wrong. As a general rule of thumb, you should be wary of anyone who uses a lot of qualifiers when speaking. If they feel the need to constantly hedge their bets, it could be a sign that they're hiding something. Next, we have the nonverbal side of things. According to body language expert Patty Wood, author of Success Signals, a guide to reading body language, there are a few key things you can look out for here. First, we have eye contact. Normally, maintaining eye contact is a good thing. It shows that you're interested and engaged in the conversation. However, when someone is lying, they might be avoiding your gaze because they're feeling guilty or ashamed about what they're saying. In general, liars tend to make less eye contact than truthful individuals do. Another thing you can do is to look out for when their eyes are darting around the room. This is known as the indicator, looking at the four walls. And it happens when someone feels nervous or anxious, which is usually the case when someone is lying. You see, when we're lying, our brains are working overtime to come up with a believable story. And this takes a lot of effort and concentration. As a result, we often feel on edge and are on the lookout for any signs that might give us away. We're also trying to plan our next move and figure out how to get out of the conversation without being caught in a lie. All of this activity makes us feel very self-conscious, and we end up displaying a lot of nervous energy through our body language. The next thing you can look out for is changes in speech patterns. When someone is lying, their speech patterns may change without them even realizing it. For example, they may start speaking more rapidly, or they may start using a higher-pitched voice. These changes in speech pattern happen because when someone is lying, they're in a state of high arousal. Their heart rates go up, their blood pressure goes up, and they start to sweat. All of these physical changes can cause their voice to shake or crack. Additionally, when someone is lying, they're often trying to cover up their guilt. As a result, they may start speaking more quickly in an attempt to get their story out before they're caught. Another thing you can look out for is fidgeting. When someone is lying, they often feel guilty or ashamed about what they're doing. This can make them feel uncomfortable and self-conscious, which can lead to fidgeting. Fidgeting is a way of trying to relieve some of this nervous energy. Some common forms of fidgeting include tapping your fingers or toes, playing with your hair, or constantly adjusting your clothing. If someone is lying, they may also avoid making eye contact, or they may look away while they're talking to you. This is because they're trying to avoid any cues that might give them away. Now that we've covered the basics, let's talk about a few advanced techniques you can use to spot a liar. The first technique is called the concealed information test, or the guilty knowledge test. This test is based on the premise that liars often know more information about a topic than they should. For example, let's say you ask your friend if he took the trash out. If he says yes, but you know that he didn't, then he must know something about the topic that he shouldn't. This is because he's trying to cover up his lie. To use this technique, simply ask a series of questions about a topic, then observe the other person's reaction. If they know more than they should, then they may be lying to you. The second technique you can use is called the Pinocchio test. This test is based on the premise that liars often become overly emotional when they're caught in a lie. To conduct the test, simply ask the other person a series of questions. Then pay attention to their emotional reactions. If they become overly emotional, then they may be lying to you. You see, when someone is lying, they're in a high state of arousal. Their heart rates go up, they start to sweat, and they become very self-conscious. All of these physical changes can lead to emotional volatility. Liars often don't mean to become overly emotional, but it's simply a byproduct of their deception. The third technique you can use is called the read technique. This technique is based on the premise that liars often try to shift the blame to someone else. To use this technique, simply accuse the other person of lying, then observe their reaction. If they try to shift the blame to someone else, then they may be lying to you. You see, when someone is caught in a lie, they often feel the need to defend themselves. They may feel angry or insulted, and they may lash out at the person accusing them of lying. Alternatively, they may try to shift the blame to someone else. They may say something like, "How was I supposed to know? You never told me," or "They made me do it." These are all common tactics that liars use to escape responsibility for their actions. Spotting a liar can be tricky business, but it's not impossible if you know what to look for. From changes in speech patterns to fidgeting, there are a variety of behavioral clues that can give away even the most skilled liar. But remember, just because someone displays these behaviors doesn't necessarily mean that they're lying. These are just potential indicators that someone might be trying to deceive you. If you have reason to believe that someone is lying to you, it's always best to confront them directly. By doing so, you'll be able to get to the truth of the matter and maintain healthy relationships with those around you. So did you find this video helpful? Do you know of any other ways to tell if someone is lying to you? Share with us in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click the like button and share it with a friend. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell icon for more content like this. And as always, thanks for watching.